Well, Manso alongside Clay Ferrer here on Local10.com for our Web Extra following Miami's second win in a row out west and fifth win in a row overall with a victory over the Rams in L.A. And Clay, the storyline, not just that the Dolphins got the win, but it's how they got the win. 3.5 quarters is some of the worst football you'll ever see.
It was ugly.
And then 5 minutes is some of the best comeback you'll ever see. And quietly, the Dolphins are right in the playoff hunt with 5 straight wins. I asked you last week, are you buying? I think you're really buying now, but what was the most impressive part of this comeback win to you?
Their resolve and the fact that that one play at the end when they were down 10-0 and Jarvis Landry catches the ball at about the 5-yard line and all of a sudden the entire team jumps on his back and pushes him into the end zone. I think that's kind of this season in a microcosm. We're talking about this a little bit on Sports Sunday. ESPN Stats and Info does this thing where they say what the chances are that a team can come back and win a game. When there were 6 minutes left in the game, the Rams had a 99.2% chance of winning that game.
They had the ball on the 30-yard line, Dolphins' 30-yard line.
And look, I know all these things, it's just stats, and it doesn't mean a whole lot in reality when you get to talking about real football and all that. But the simple fact was this team was dead. It was over. It was done. They were going to be 5-5 coming back home. Not only were they able to score on that possession, but then it really rejuvenated the team. Defense went out there, got a 3-and-out. They come back. All of a sudden, it's the Devontae Parker show. And I think what you're seeing is not just this team kind of showing its resolve, but in addition to that, Devontae Parker all of a sudden is emerging as a guy that's going to be a real difference maker, taking this team from a playoff contender to a team that could be really dangerous once they get there.
Yeah, and I think, look, there are concerns. The offensive line now with 3/5 of the lineup injured, with Laramie Tunsil, his status unsure with his shoulder injury. But I think what showed me is, look, I can't get caught up in the playoff talk yet because there's still a lot of football to be played, and the Dolphins can keep on playing well and win games and be in that playoff hunt. But more importantly to me, I take away the little things, and to me the little thing is Adam Gase. And what he has done, what he has instilled in this team, their ability to come back and not quit, no matter what happens the rest of the season with this Dolphins team. I think for once we could sit here and look, the Dolphins have their man. Adam Gase is the youngest head coach in the NFL. He's just 38 years old. You would never know it, though, by the way he gets these guys to respond, that he's never been an NFL head coach. I think that's what I take away. This team, with 6 minutes left, we all left them for dead. They come back home with these 2 straight wins in the West over 2 weeks out there. 5 straight wins overall. I mean, this is, how can we not buy into this?
And look, I know it's any given Sunday and we can't look ahead. Well, I'm going to.
Oh, you got to look ahead. They're going San Fran. I mean,
San Francisco's terrible.
Yeah.
They're going to win next week. The 2 teams ahead of them in the playoff race are playing each other next week. By the end of next week, going back to the ESPN Stats and Info, I'm giving a 99.2% chance of the Dolphins being in that 6th playoff spot. And I think the important thing right now is it's mid to late November. It's going to be late November next week. We're talking about meaningful football, meaningful NFL football in Hard Rock Stadium at this point in the year. I am concerned about that offensive line. You talk about major takeaways. Completely agree with you on Gase. I'm going to add one more thing. Ryan Tannehill was brutal for the first 3 quarters.
Didn't get much protection, didn't get much help from his receivers, a lot of drop balls.
No, it was not his fault. But again, you talk about the resolve, and we knew he had toughness, but the thing I wasn't 100% sure on is when things have gone bad all game long, and he needs to come up with those big plays at the very end of the game to win a game that really is a difference maker in the playoff race. Can he do it? He did.
He did.
He did. And
a big reason why. Go back to Adam Gase. He's got a coach who's on his side. For all that time, we talked about Joe Philbin being a guy who could work with quarterbacks and his relationship with Aaron Rodgers and being in Green Bay. And the reality is he never brought into Ryan Tannehill.
Yes.
At one point last year, he wouldn't even have the starting quarterback. Here's the guy who's supposed to be your franchise quarterback and future first-round pick. Adam Gase is riding with Ryan Tannehill, clearly his guy. And I think that confidence, you see it on the field. Ryan Tannehill doesn't make that comeback last year. I really believe that. I know there's no way to prove it, but I believe it. And I think we should all believe in the Miami Dolphins right now at 6-4. Left for dead at 1-4. They've won 5 in a row, as Clay mentioned. They're coming back home to take on San Fran. Clay, you've been singing it every week. What's the song again?
Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins.
They've been #1 for 5 straight weeks. No one's been better. It's hard to be better than 5 straight.
Because when you're talking Dolphins,
you're talking
Super Bowl. Maybe.
Never know.
Playoffs, we'll take it.
Take the playoffs.